So if you don't have any ruler guides placed down there, you go to View and Guides and Show, and you'll get the guides, and also um, they'll come up on the screen. So it's just dragging this blue line vertical coming out of the top there and setting that. And again, as you look at these designs, you have to decide if it's going to be a very mechanical approach to it, or is it building this section up. And whatever item you draw now becomes the frontmost item. So I'll give that a color. I'm just clicking X to bring the fill forward, just to give it a color. Okay, and I'm holding the Command key down to turn the cursor or the tool temporarily into the selection tool, just to click off of everything so nothing's selected. And then Option is going to make it in the center. Shift key is going to keep it in proportion, and I'll give that a color. And this is in front of, because I just drew it, so I can either go to Object, Arrange, and Send Backward, or send it all the way to the back. I want to make sure I'm on just the right layer, or I can use the keystroke, which is the command and the bracket left or right to go forward or backward. So I'll just put that on backwards and just back out a bit. I take a look at all these shapes, and you can try to show it two ways. I'm just going to take the pen tool and just illustrate one of them. Kind of has a free form look to it. And notice I'm just using 4 points to illustrate that. There's the handle. If it gets way out of whack, I just go to the direct selection tool and I can adjust the piece right on the screen. So it's kind of a nice tool, and when I click on it, there's the section. Okay. Inside some of the tools, when you use this pen tool, for example, all these pieces come out, and this Add Anchor Point will come out, and you can adjust or add, doing the same thing with the direct selection tool. So I'll leave that. I'll give it a tone just to enhance it a little bit. But you can see it's a piece that's somewhat elongated and just kind of free form drawn in there. And since I just drew it straight, I can take the rotation tool, which is right here, and just click. It'll rotate it. I want it to rotate all the way around, so I'm going to Option and click, and that'll get me this selection. Now I can hit Preview and click inside here and just rotate that around like so. That's one way to do it, and click OK, and then just hit Command D. Actually, I have to copy that. Sorry about that. So let me do it one more time. I'm just going to Option and click to bring up this panel. And just rotate it over here. And make sure I hit Copy this time. And just hit Command D. And what that does is it copies the last function as long as I don't move anything. And that's the item rotated all the way around. Now if this one is supposed to be on top of this one, that's just the rotation segment coming around. Now here they are all the same, okay? And I just want to select them all, so I'm just going to make a selection box around the interior of it, and it does grab everything, okay? But I don't want these two items, so I'm just going to hold the Shift key and it'll take those two out. And now it just moves this group. And I might group this piece. And it looks like there's a piece behind this, so I'm going to make a copy on top of it. So just go to Edit, Copy, and then just go to Edit, Paste in Place. And what that does is it puts that image right on top of it. And when I come to the outside edge, this is the selection box, and when I come out to the outside, I can just rotate it, and you can see there's the one behind it. So it's just a quick way to animate that. Now, when you take a look at the actual artwork, you can say, well, they're all random shapes. They're not all equal like this. In that case, then you would just go through and draw them separately. And here's that piece. Now, if this section, you can see the scan is through it. So I'm just going to take the option and click and make a shape. And this time I'll just fill it with a blue. And now, object arrange. I'm going to use the keyboard, but I'm going to hit this one, send backward, just so you can see it going behind 1, 2. There's the yellow circle and the orange circle. So now it's 5 layers behind it. To understand the process of that, I'll just move these out of the way so you can see they're overlapping each other on top of this. So they're just on different stacking order. If I take a look in this layer panel, this is the layer panel, and the latest thing is everything that you have is listed in here, every move that you make. So here's the section of these pieces. So you can see all 5 layers right here. And just shift key them just to show them to you. So you can actually remove or place them above each other in the stacking order manually like that. So there's more than one way to do that last part. Okay, and then down here, there's just a little bit of a illustration with some lettering for the NG, so you can follow this along. I have a fill still on this, so I'll take that off in a minute. But it's trying to do this cursive kind of writing here. I'll just take the fill off. Remember to hit Command and click so nothing's selected. Here I'm just using the pen tool. I'll click Command plus just to zoom in a little bit. Space bar to move it around so I can get closer to it. Here I'm just using Command minus. And clicking off of it. So there's kind of a lot of this scroll design. And then to deselect it, either go back to the tool and click on it, or just use the keystroke, whichever you find more comfortable. And again, to go back, see how it's all curved with this, what they call the rubber band. Just click on it, the anchor point, and it sets it what they call a corner point. Drop that down. And again, if you make a mistake, just take the direct selection tool. All these tools have keystrokes so that you can work a little more efficiently and faster. And you can adjust it like that. Now, all of this scroll work here, I may want to modify with the stroke. So I take the selection tool and just highlight everything here. Here's the stroke panel. And there's all kinds of options that you have, but down below at the profile, there's some presets that you can click on just to get some variety in the line. If you don't like the presets, go back to Uniform, and you can use the Width tool to adjust some of these. Remember, it'll adjust everything once you have it one path and line segment to it. If you click on it and hold the Option key, it just goes to the side that you're dragging. So it gives you a little bit of addition to it there. And something like this, you might want to use the profile, so I just click on that and click through here to get a profile that has a thin and thick line to it. Keep in mind it's still editable, so this one, for example, I may want to have points in that kind of little organic flower, the veins of a leaf or something like that. So you're kind of taking the picture, designing it, adapting it to this part. Okay, and when you take a look at your layers, if you're gonna, when you're finished taking a picture of this, you have Dan's logo over here. I'll move that over. I select all of these items. I may want to take the stroke off of it and just have that image, depending on how it is, or maybe I want to have a color to it. Colors are here listed. If I double click on it, it gives me all the color process, which we'll talk more as we go. But you have all these different options through the color guide. I can take a tint tints of that color. So it gives you some different coloring options for over here. So then, in order to take this photo, I'm just going to remember, hit the Tab key. I'm going to go to, just to show you, View, here's the guides, and there's a Command semicolon, and that disappears, and then Command Shift 4 will allow me to make that screenshot. And then this is Command Tab to get all the programs you have open one at a time. Here's the Finder. And here's the screenshot of this. I might have to take that again. Just hit the space bar. It'll show you the image up close. And I have to redo it because I have that section right there. And then Command Tab, just come back to Illustrator, and you have everything set. Keep in mind this 3 red, yellow, blue traffic light makes it larger, smaller, and if it has a circle in the red, it means that there's changes that haven't been saved yet. So you just have to go to File and hit Save on there.